We are going to talk about problem 26 on page T of the first physics, page 1133. And page T number 26 says, a sled rope is held at an angle of 45 degrees with the horizontal ground. A force of 60 newtons acting parallel to the ground is required to keep the sled in motion. How much force must be exerted on the rope? So you remember, when we have a sled, if we need 60 newtons acting in this direction to keep it going that way, we actually have to be pulling with more force than 60, because part of that force is trying to lift up, because we're pulling at an angle. If we were just pulling the rope straight in front of it, we would only need to have 60 newtons. But anytime you have an angle, part of the force that you're applying is being diverted to try to lift the front end, and then part of it's being used to pull it forward. So we have those two directions of motion, the horizontal and the vertical. Now, this is asking it's actually kind of straightforward. We had the 45-degree angle, okay? We know that our force going in this direction is 60, and the question is, what is the hypotenuse? Well, let's think about our magic triangle, okay? What do we know? Do we know the hypotenuse? Actually, we don't. That's what we're solving for. Do we know the angle? Yes. And we know this side. Is that side the adjacent or the opposite? If you said opposite, think again, because it's actually adjacent. We're always adjacent to the hypotenuse. So it is adjacent. This is opposite of this angle, okay? So the adjacent is the 60, so we have to think about it. Adjacent over hypotenuse. Some old horse caught another horse, adjacent hypotenuse, caught, oh, cosine. All right, so we're going to put cos in here, cosine of 45, and we have the 60. So now we're going to solve for this, and I'm going to let you finish it because it's so simple. First, do the cosine of 45, get that number on your calculator. Then you're going to go back and do 60 divided by that answer, okay? And then you'll have the correct number. So, and you probably have to round it off to 2 digits, okay? 2 significant figures. Let's real quick talk about 27. It says, what resultant force is produced by a vertical force of 60 newtons and a horizontal force of 100? So 100 this way and 60 newtons that way. I didn't draw that very carefully. Maybe it's more like this. So what we're trying to find is the hypotenuse. I'm going to quick talk you through it, but I'm not going to do it for you. You got to do this, okay? We always have to find the hypotenuse. The angle. Well, we have to find the hypotenuse too. So the hypotenuse is actually going to be fairly easy. Do you remember Pythagorean's theorem? C squared, the hypotenuse, C squared equals A squared plus B squared. So we're going to square this, add them together. Not quite done. You have to do the square root of that big number. The square root of that big number is the hypotenuse. Now, let's do the angle. We have the opposite and we have the adjacent, but we do not have the hypotenuse. We have opposite and adjacent. Which one uses opposite over adjacent? Oh yeah, tangent, taking oats away. Once again, Mr. Anger's magic triangle. So we're going to do the opposite, 60, over hypotenuse. And then this is the tangent of theta, inverse tangent. Okay, so divide, get a decimal number. Second function tangent will give you the angle. All right, so you're finding two parts of this. You're finding the hypotenuse using Pythagorean's theorem, and then you're going to use the tangent function to find the angle. So that one isn't actually too bad. Okay? I want you to understand these before you try to do your checkup. And you'll see these again coming up on the, I'm just checking. While I'm talking, I'm checking here. Self-test. Yeah, a little bit. Yep, a couple of them on self-test. Okay, so I'm sure they'll be on the pace test too. You want to see the pace test? There it is. Ha! Sorry, it's getting late. Yep, we got to know how to do this on the pace test too. All right, I hope you do well, and don't forget to check some of these answers, not just in the answer key part, but check the solution guide if you get them wrong so you can see the steps that maybe you missed, okay?